everyone, me Kevin here with a stimulus check and stimulus package update for you, as well as other financial news, including the Fed and some finally progress on the EIDL grant program, along with some other money-making news. Today is June 10th. It is the afternoon of June 10th. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get started. Some of you have been asking, Kevin, Dave & Buster's had a little bit of a pullback along with the airlines, retail, and all of the entire recession stock sector. Everything pulled back. Should you sell? Should you buy now? Should you wait? What should you do? My answer is it's better to be in the market than wait outside the market. So I bought more Dave & Buster's shares today. You can check out my full 20-minute breakdown on that in the link below if that interests you. I did not sell a single Dave & Buster's share because to me, as I said in that video, it is a 3 to 4 year play. And I have high expectations for the company over the next 3 to 4 years. But the next months, the next 6 to 12 months are definitely going to be rocky. Now, tomorrow the company does report earnings, which means the price again could fall or rise 10 to 12, maybe even 15%. It depends. If it goes up, I won't buy more. If it goes down, I'll buy. But either way, I'm not selling. Now, yesterday, I brought to you that Kevin Hassett and the Wall Street Journal just reported that the next stimulus package was very, very likely, which of course has now been echoed throughout the entire YouTube community. It's okay. I'm not mad. I love you all for coming to me and listening to whatever insights I can give you. However, there is still a lot of concern over the next jobs report coming in July. That is, a lot of you in the comments are saying, this next job report, it's probably going to be good. Is that going to destroy the odds of the next stimulus package? Well, as we mentioned yesterday, Kevin Hassett says, we're still gonna do another round of stimulus. But I wanted to add to this my POV. Even if the numbers are good, we know Kevin Hassett from the White House says, we're still gonna do another round of stimulus. But my POV is, look, the numbers have no choice but to go up, because they're so bad right now. And any gains are going to look better than the massive losses we had in April. So I wouldn't necessarily be too anxious over the fact that, yes, the July report is probably going to be better. I think no matter what, hopefully, especially since this recession has been crushing people least able to bear it, all those making under $50,000 a year, I do have the belief that Congress will eventually see this and come around to that. And they're not going to let the jobs data silence their impression of helping the people. Maybe I'm overly optimistic here because I know the last 2 months have been extremely frustrating with political bickering and infighting. And the reality is we need help now, not in 2 months. In the meantime, the most important thing that we could do right now is not fret over the jobs numbers or what the data is going to be. The best thing we could do right now is focus on bettering ourselves. What can we do to increase our knowledge? Start a side hustle, start a 3D scanning business, become a lender, become a real estate agent, increase your marketability for a job. Have you brushed up your LinkedIn portfolio? Have you started a side hustle? Have you gotten educated during this quarantine time? What can you do to learn and build your knowledge? Because that is going to help you succeed. You got to focus on increasing your income. The investing stuff can come after that. Which, yes, Tesla shares did cross $1,000 today per share. That is my largest holding. If you want to see the stocks that I would recommend for entertainment purposes only, of course, not financial advice. If you want to see the stocks that I would recommend you buy, type into Google, or not Google, like the search bar or the address bar, metkevin.com/stocks610. That's 610. That's today's date, right? June 10th. So metkevin.com/stocks610. And you'll see my portfolio recommendation for today. It'll give you a mix of Amazon, of Tesla, of Dave & Buster's, and some of the other stocks that I'm excited on right now. My goal is to create this balance because you don't want all recovery, Dave & Buster's and airlines and retail. You got to have balance too. You got to have some tech. You got to have some Tesla. You got to have a little bit of everything. Growth, AT&T, JP Morgan, right? You'll see those things in there. Check it out. And don't worry if you're discouraged because Tesla is now over $1,000. Remember, you can still buy Tesla shares using fractional shares with M1 Finance. Go to metkevin.com/stocks610 and you'll learn all about it there. Also, by the way, Lauren posted a new vlog and I look so different in some of the clips in that because it's, you gotta check it out. She exposes how I missed our second son's birth. That sounds really bad, because it's like, wait, you missed your son's birth because you were vlogging for YouTube? That sounds like a really bad headline, okay? But go check it out. Check out Lauren's video. She put a lot of work into that last night, so definitely show Lauren some love. Now, in May, the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, came in at 1.2%. It actually edged up, mostly because food prices have been going up, but honestly, this is a little bit better because I was really worried that we're gonna see inflation drop below 1%, which the closer we get to 0%, the more it's a sign that our Federal Reserve, even though they're flooding the market with money, isn't functioning. The fact that we saw a slight edge up is a sign that the Federal Reserve is keeping us away from that deflationary spiral. That would be very, very bad. Which I want to make another note here. I think most of you know that I do whatever I can to give you insights into things that other people aren't looking at. So look, we already know what the Federal Reserve did in terms of rates. A lot of us do. I'm going to reiterate that in just a second. But what's more important is what he said in the questions and answers, and something big that he implied. And that's the kind of stuff I hope you subscribe to the channel for and like the video. So thank you for that. Let's get into exactly what he said. Oh yeah, and of course, sign up for Webull, get your life insurance, and check out the programs below. My boss makes me say this every time. Oh, I'm self-employed. Dig in a hole, Kevin, dig in a hole. Let's move on over. Okay, so here's the scoop. Jerome Powell was directly asked, should we expect a $600 boost, the unemployment boost, to be extended, or would you recommend extending that? He was directly asked that. And what's interesting is how he responded. First of all, you already know Mr. J. Powell is like the cheerleader for more stimulus. We know that. He has demanded Congress do more stimulus in the past. Well, now we have him responding by complimenting how great the $600 boost was and how great the PPP were and how innovative and effective they were. Yeah, they had some problems, but these were great and novel programs. Those were his words. Those were his words, okay? Like, whoa. And here's the important thing. Beyond him using those words to describe it, then he goes into the, oh crap, I gotta be political. Yeah, it's possible we'll have to do more. It's possible Congress will have to do more. It's possible people have to do more. But then he said, I'm not willing to advise on that, not publicly at least. So in other words, he thinks the program's innovative, novel, and effective. It's been useful. He's demanded stimulus in the past, and he's willing to talk about it more privately, which means he's willing to go to the White House and Congress, which he does. And when they have their private meetings, you know he's there. This guy's working all the time. And you know he's the guy at the table with like his bib and the fork and knife going, I want more stimulus. That's my belief, just based on everything he has said. Knowing he's an economist, he is on the side of more stimulus. So to me, that was a very clear indicator that he believes, the $600 boost is actually a good thing. It's giving people the liquidity, that the stimulus checks were a good thing. He used the word stimulus checks. Now, he didn't say, let's have more stimulus checks, but he's reiterated how effective those have been. And that's really, really, really good to see from Mr. Jerome Powell, the dude with the money printer, okay? The fact that he's constantly applauding stimulus, very, very good. Which this was actually reiterated by Jerome Powell because he said that, look, we don't target groups. This right here, huge. He says, we realize that our actions benefit people in the lower end when the labor market is tight. We want to get back to that. Wait a minute, what he just said. Do the inverse of what he just said. The stuff they're doing now when there's high unemployment benefits the rich. We want to get back to the labor market being tight, which benefits people who are wealthy and people who are in the lower end. So Jerome Powell here clearly realizes that he cannot provide direct stimulus to the people who need it most. And when you put these things together, this was a big fat speech, once again, demanding more stimulus by the Fed. This is very, very, very good. Now, in terms of action, the Wall Street Journal expected that the Fed would temporarily put a potential cap on Treasury yields. I broke down how that would work in another video. You could see it from a couple days ago, and we talked about that. But instead of capping yields, they said they would keep rates at zero without any kind of caps on Treasury bonds. Don't worry if that sounds complicated. Basically, they're trying to keep rates low. And the Wall Street Journal did say that the Fed was likely to provide guidance saying that rates were going to stay low low until 2023. And the Fed actually came out and said that they're going to keep rates low through at least 2022. So the Wall Street Journal was, again, very, very close to reality. They consistently seem to have a leak inside the White House or the Federal Reserve. Maybe it's Jerome Powell himself. That's what he means by talk privately. I talk privately with you Wall Street Journal reporters. You gotta find out in any presidential administration where the leaks are, and then you gotta go there. All right. Now, there's been a lot of talk about refinancing. Whew. Talk about real estate investing. My gosh, that's what I do. Okay, sorry, that probably seemed really corny. No, here's the thing. Should you refinance right now? I get this question over and over again. I've refinanced more in this year than I have in my entire life because I am taking advantage of these ridiculously low rates. However, watch my video where I broke down my stock portfolio. I'll link that down below as well. And you'll see that I actually refinanced because I had a purpose of buying stocks and buying real estate. If you refinance and you just lower your rate, that's great. But if you're going to refinance and take cash out, please, 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 please do not take the cash out and go buy a boat, car, clothing, or butter. Butter is basically just crap that you don't, stuff that you want, right? Or a new car. Like, even though you buying a Tesla would help my Tesla stock, I do not recommend that. I would rather see you use that money and build wealth. Buy stocks, buy real estate. Very, very, very important. Focus on building your wealth first. You don't want to be stuck in a situation again where you don't have that flexibility because you don't have assets. You took the money that you had and you spent it on other things. Like, some people will actually refinance to pay off their credit cards. Now their credit cards are paid off and then they fill up their credit cards again. It's a big mistake. There's so many I mean, look, I could talk to you about, I got a whole course on money and managing money. I could talk to you about the psychology of money for probably 40 hours straight without a break. I don't even need a bathroom break, okay? I'm so passionate about this. Stupid. Anyway, if you have not yet, consider subscribing to the channel, but let's get into some more information here. The Federal Reserve also announced that they were going to be increasingly buying more bonds, which, don't worry so much about that. This was kind of funny. One of the reporters replied and said, hey, you guys keep saying that your job is to promote stability. Have you looked at the stock market or what's going on in the marketplace or economy? That was a hilarious question. Like, I thought that was like priceless. Like, that was so on point. And he's like, well, we're trying to. Banks are stable, credit markets are stable, but yeah, we have work to do. But asset prices aren't our job. Like, his job isn't to make the stock market go up. But come on, let's be real, he does. All right, in other news, the EIDL grant program. Remember this? This was like the extra $1,000 stimulus check if you had a side hustle or you were a small business. Well, today, probably still right now, Marco Rubio and a group of other senators are literally grilling the administrator of the SBA. I hopped in and listened to, I went around and listened to as much as I could this morning, and I heard them bluntly ask her, why is it that, and this is the administrator of the SBA, why is it that when the PPP money ran out, people came to Congress and said, we need more money for the PPP, and we gave them more money? Why is it that when the EIDL money ran out, you guys said, well, instead of giving people $10,000, let's just give them $1,000 per employee? Why did you do that rather than just come back to Congress and ask for money? What's wrong with you? This remains to be seen what the results of this are going to be, but I do want to say, this is one of the reasons I have hope. Now, I know how terribly hopeless many of us can feel right now in this pandemic, and I want to sympathize with that as much as I possibly can. The issue is very real. We see the media every day of our representatives saying wait and see while we're suffering. And it's almost like we have to go digging to see the signs of hope. So I hope my hope is not creating false hope. I hope I can convey, I'm saying hope way too much here. All I want to say is it's very, very good that the EIDL is finally getting pressure from Congress. This means even though it took months, the help is slowly coming, or at least starting to. Things are moving in the right direction, right? Now, despite coronavirus cases jumping, Larry Kudlow, the director of the National Economic Council, said this morning that he sees any ability in the future for coronavirus second waves or whatever to be able to be fought without having to shut down the economy again. And then he went on to reiterate some of the same things that we have heard before. And this is especially pertinent now because we are seeing some spikes in certain areas that have reopened. But he did reiterate when asked directly, what do you think about that phase 4 package? He reiterated the same thing we've heard before, but it's good that these are still front of mind. Return to work incentives, payroll tax holiday, amending the $600 plus up. That's big. He said amending the $600 plus up. He did not say eliminating the $600 pandemic unemployment boost. Very, very good. He said we will have some kind of assistance or credit for a return to work. He said we will have that. Infrastructure spending was a possibility. Maybe restaurant deductions, maybe tourism deductions, maybe a cap on capital gains, maybe onshoring so firms can come back to America, but it will happen after July 4th. A lot of updates today. I mean, this has been a very update-full video. I really hope you appreciate it. If you do, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's totally okay to vent. Let me know what your feelings are because I incorporate your questions in this video. So when you have questions about what should I do with stocks, what should I do about real estate, I try to answer those in the videos when I can, or sometimes I can reply directly to you. So thank you so much for being a loyal member here. Remember to get your 2 free stocks with Webull. Deposit just $100 with Webull and you get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,400. Get your life insurance and check out my programs down below. I go live every morning. The market is open at 9 a.m. to help answer your questions on a private live stream. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you soon.